Big plays like this is an amazing play where he kind of throws going backwards, puts the ball right on the money.
Whoa.
He's going to need some work in reading defenses, reading coverages. This is a kid that can make all the throws. He just needs to be more consistent.
The early impressions of Caleb Williams are pretty good. The early impressions of Jaden Daniels are actually even better. The early impressions of Drake Maye are a little bit troubling. Now, I understand it's only been a few weeks since this kid has been drafted. I understand it's super premature and he's just a rookie in the NFL and he's just in rookie minicamp and this is a huge overreaction. But at the same time, one has to understand what the New England Patriots had to sacrifice in order to take Drake Maye to begin with. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! We just turned $25 into $225, $35 into $105 the night before, and now PrizePicks is giving us another free square. All Caitlin Clark needs is 1 point in her WNBA debut, and her square will hit. I give away all my picks for free on my Instagram story @TheFlightMike. And you guys have been hitting me up in the DMs letting me know how well it's been going for you guys. And right now you'll get up to a $100 deposit match when you use my promo code FlightMike when you sign up for PrizePicks. Or just click in the link in the description down below. And thank you, PrizePicks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I wanted to give you guys a disclaimer. For all you know, Drake Maye is able to put it all together by the time the first day of the regular season starts and put together one of the greatest rookie seasons in NFL history. I mean, remember when Jamar Chase was having trouble catching footballs in the preseason of his rookie year? And it seemed like the moment this man was putting all of those doubters to rest. And the same could be happening for Drake Maye, although I did have reservations about the New England Patriots selecting Drake Maye to begin with. It's nothing against Drake Maye the prospect, although there are some questions about him as a player currently, but my initial reservations had more to do with where the New England Patriots were at as a team as opposed to Drake Maye himself. And I know I harp on this point a lot, but the New England Patriots selected the most pro-ready quarterback talent in the 2021 NFL Draft, Mac Jones, and they slowly watched him disintegrate from a Pro Bowler who was runner-up for Rookie of the Year in his rookie year, a player that threw for over 3,800 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions, all the way into whatever this was last year. And you have to think of all the things that came together for this to happen. I don't think it was directly as a result of Mac Jones sucking. I think it was the fact that he was behind the worst offensive line in the NFL, had 3 wide receivers who ranked in the bottom 10 in terms of wide receiver separation in Mike Gesicki, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Devontae Parker. And in his sophomore year, he had Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator. I don't think anyone would be able to succeed in those circumstances. But fortunately for the Patriots, Mac Jones was going into his 4th year as a New England Patriot. So you essentially still had him on a rookie scale contract while you could have focused on other areas of your team. But then the Patriots made a horrific mistake, in my opinion, trading Mac Jones for pennies on the dollar and letting the entire world know that they planned on taking Drake Maye. Essentially putting Drake Maye in the same exact situation that Mac Jones was in. So you're essentially taking out a 3-year NFL pro that has made it to a Pro Bowl already, and you're essentially substituting him with a quarterback that has a tremendous amount of potential, but still needs to work on some things coming into his rookie year, as said by his ex-coach.
Very talented kid, good size, runs well, has a good arm. Just he hasn't played very much. He really doesn't have a lot of experience. He's going to need some work in reading defenses, reading coverages. This is a kid that can make all the throws. He just needs to be more consistent. Transitioning from a college quarterback to a pro quarterback here is, he just needs some time and experience.
Now, at the same time, unlike Bill Belichick, Jerod Mayo has done a remarkable job building his coaching staff to make sure that the same thing doesn't happen to Drake Maye as it did for Mac Jones. Hiring Alex Van Pelt as his offensive coordinator. He's had experience working with Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, and even a legendary New England Patriots quarterback by the name of Drew Bledsoe. This is what Drew Bledsoe has to say about Alex Van Pelt.
One thing that he has that's very, very significant going for him is Alex Van Pelt. So Alex was, we were together in Buffalo for a few years, and no disrespect to Zoe, Alex was, from a backup standpoint, he was the one that had the best football mind And he also has just this incredibly calm demeanor. He played quarterback in the league for a decade, and he's 6 foot and chubby. So obviously he had to win with his brain. That Alex is one of those special, quarterback whisperer kind of dudes that's really going to help him. So
again, my reservations about Drake Maye isn't necessarily to do with Drake Maye the prospect. It has more to do with the situation Drake Maye is being placed in. And the reason why the New England Patriots have so much pressure is because of the massive trade offers that were made for Drake Maye. If you guys remember, leading into the NFL draft, the New England Patriots were trying to entice teams to trade up to the number 3 overall pick so they could get a huge haul of draft picks so they could build up the rest of their roster, which I felt like was the right move given the situation that they were in. I felt like drafting a quarterback in this scenario would have been very similar to what Bryce Young went through with the Carolina Panthers, only the Patriots didn't have to give up assets to draft Drake Maye. But some of these reported offers are actually insane. According to Albert Breer, the New York Giants offered the New England Patriots their 2024 6th round pick with their 2025 first round pick, while the Minnesota Vikings offered 3 first round picks in total, including the 11th and 23rd pick this year, along with a 2025 first round pick. The New England Patriots response:
"Oh, if they are willing to give up this many assets to trade up for Drake Maye, chances are Drake Maye is pretty good."
And that's actually what they thought. The fact that Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell and Giants head coach Brian Daboll were so interested in getting Drake Maye made the New England Patriots want him even more. Both coaches are strong evaluators of talent, and they obviously saw the incredible potential in Maye. Of course, if the North Carolina quarterback ends up being a bust, people will look back on these trade offers as major missed opportunities. And that's my biggest issue here. There are definitely instances where a quarterback can show up on a brand new team that doesn't necessarily have a tremendous amount of assets and turn that team around, such as the way CJ Stroud did this past year for the Houston Texans. But you have to admit, CJ Stroud is definitely an outlier. It doesn't usually shake out this way. Most of the times, these first round quarterbacks end up being a bust, as we saw from the 2021 NFL draft that was so hyped up and so exciting and was supposed to be a draft class that was similar to the 2004 QB class. Now you might be thinking,
"Mike, this is just your opinion. Why does this matter?"
well, there's one thing Drake Maye's new head coach said that personally made me feel a little uncomfortable, and that's the fact that Jerod Mayo says that Drake Maye has a lot to work on. Now, this doesn't seem to be something that's taken out of context or anything that's too big of a deal, but it's more the way he said it. First-year New England Patriots coach Jerod Mayo might not be as hardlined as Bill Belichick when answering questions from reporters, but he delivered a Belichick type of response when he asked his first impressions of quarterback Drake Maye at rookie minicamp. He has a lot to work on, but I have no doubt that he'll put the time in. He was here all night trying to get on the same page as everyone else. Which, don't get me wrong, again, Drake Maye, brand new draft pick, was perceived as one of the more developmental QBs in the NFL draft. Those types of quarterbacks could end up like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, or they could turn out to be Mitchell Trubisky or Blake Bortles. It's really up in the air. It really depends on a lot of variables outside of the player himself. Drake Maye personally felt very optimistic about his future, saying it's been good, kind of the first day feeling it out, and just getting more and more reps. That's all something new takes, getting more reps at it. I feel pretty good out there today, so you just have to keep working. His teammates spoke glowingly about him. Jalen Polk said the guy can sling it. He's very confident. He's a leader, very vocal. He's setting the tone in practice, trying to get guys moving around and operating at a high level. 4th round pick Layden Robinson, a guard from Texas A&M, added, "I love his energy and intensity when he's in the huddle, so you've always got to bring your best energy too." It's just a very shocking thing to hear from Jerod Mayo. Plaxico Burress is even speculating that the Patriots regret taking Drake Maye.
So what you're saying is that we might have drafted the wrong guy. I've never heard a head coach come out and say about any draft pick that he has a lot to work on.
Yeah.
So that tells me that he has a whole lot to work on.
Which, if they do, I think that's preposterous, because at the end of the day, you knew what you were getting with Drake Maye. You knew what you were signing up for with Drake Maye. You're signing up for a player that could be very good in the NFL if you mold him correctly. If you find someone that could focus on his footwork and his throwing motion, then you might get one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. At the same time, if you're throwing him out to the wolves behind a below average offensive line without a true number 1 wide receiver, then obviously obviously I'm going to be concerned. At the end of the day, it's impossible to tell whether or not Drake Maye is a bust at this point. The man has barely been a New England Patriot for a month, but I felt like it was worth bringing up what Jerod Mayo said, and at least Jerod Mayo knows that his legacy, as well as that of newly appointed Vice President of Player Personnel Elliot Wolf, will be tied to the team's selection of Drake Maye 3rd overall in last month's NFL draft. If you're a Patriots fan, let me know in the comment section down below if you're concerned, if you think the Patriots made a mistake even though it's premature to evaluate him this early, or if you have confidence that Drake Maye is a sizable upgrade over Mac Jones. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.